I have a sneaker collecting problem. I have sneakers beside me. I have sneakers in the closet. I have sneakers in the front hall. I have sneakers in the front closet. I have sneakers in our spare room. I have sneakers in the laundry room. This is getting out of control. And I want to make this video because I've been probably stressing about this for over a year now. I think that anyone, whether you've been collecting for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, can probably like relate to a lot of what I'm saying. And your reasons for getting rid of shoes, it could be a whole bunch of things. Stress, you just don't know what to wear. The financial goals, you're spending, way too much on sneakers. It could be space constraints. You live in a place where you just can't have this many shoes, or maybe it's personal aesthetic and personal taste. There's sneakers that I have that I was super into 5 years ago and obsessing over. And today I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't really wear that. Maybe collecting sneakers is something that you got into and now it's like no longer fun to you anymore. Or maybe you are looking at the hobby now and realizing that this is an addiction. This has gone from something that's fun that I'm participating in to something that is kind of consuming my life. And it's making me like read blogs all the time and websites and go on Reddit and go on Instagram and obsess over shoes. And so I want to make this video to kind of help maybe navigate how I'm looking at my shoes, and maybe it'll be helpful for you guys because I've kind of come up with a bit of a process. I think the first question when you look at your collection is you have to ask yourself, do I wear these? Do I wear these? Have I worn these? And if the answer is no, I've never worn them, that's a really easy shoe to put in the selling, donation, getting rid of pile. The reason for that is because your psychology probably won't change. If you haven't worn it already, what will make you suddenly wear the shoe, right? Have I worn them in the last year? I do that with clothes all the time. So I like to keep things in my closet for no more than a year. And if I haven't worn it by the time that year has come around again, it's time to go. Another one could be like, I've worn it, but I've only worn it once. That's probably another shoe that you don't really gravitate towards. And then if you have a shoe and you do wear it, or you love it, or you have some attachment to it or something, then put that in the yes pile. So now you're gonna have two distinct piles. So now in the selling donation pile, that's what I wanna look at. You also may have shoes that are unwearable. What I mean by that are like display shoes, maybe something that a famous athlete or musician or someone has signed. Maybe I don't have the actual shoe because it's somewhere in here. Here's the retro. And the one I'm trying to talk about is the 2005 Burgundy 5s. That was early in my sneaker collecting kind of journey. And the sneaker is unwearable. The midsole is crumbling. It's torn off. You can't wear it, right? But I still have it. And that could be a shoe that you could argue you want to keep because, yeah, it's unwearable, but it signifies something. But you can also ask yourself, like, if every single shoe in my collection was worth the exact same amount, let's just use a whole number, like they're all worth $100 each, what would the collection look like? Like if they were all worth the same thing. And that would allow you to naturally look at things and be like, I like that because I like that, not because someone else likes it or because the internet says it's cool. Another concept is doubling up. Doubling up was a big thing. I don't know if it is these days, but it was a big thing like 15 plus years ago. I remember it was a concept we talk about like when I was a kid, like early 2000s, like doubling up. You're gonna double up on a pair, one to rock, one to stock, right? It's just such a silly mindset, in my opinion. Nike is re-releasing everything anyway. By the time you get around to cooking that first pair, Nike is probably releasing the shoe again. So you have now a yes pile. Now we're gonna actually dwindle down a bit more. Look at that yes pile and think to yourself, what is a realistic number that you should be at? Maybe you're at 50, maybe you're at 30 shoes and you think 30 is too much. Set yourself a realistic goal. I can't tell you that number, but when you have that number in mind, get it down to that number. You're gonna rank them, or at least I would, from like amazing all the way down to like good. This would fall into my amazing category, which is probably different than yours. This would fall into my good category. I like them both, but there is a bit of a ranking that I'm gonna naturally do. Another question that you can ask is like, is it comfortable? This is probably something I should have started with. This right here is probably one of my favorite shoes of all time. Jordan 4, black cement. This is the 2019 pair. And this shoe like really hurts my feet. If it's uncomfortable, why do you even own it? Like, why do I even own this? That's a question I have to ask myself. And it's a tough question because getting rid of the shoe, it means a lot to me, but like, I'm not wearing it. Another thing you look at is like colorways. So if you have a shoe, it looks so similar to another shoe, do you need both? This one's pretty obvious. Very similar color blocking. Not exactly the same, but close enough. Not the same shoe. Extremely similar. You know, another thing I had this really bad obsession with until recently when I realized this is like really dumb. I wanted to collect every single OG colorway. I was on this ongoing hunt for years. Jordan 2 OG, another Jordan 2 red white OG. I don't wear this one like at all. I probably worn this like 5 times. I wear this one a lot more. Do I really need both? I don't love them equally. This shoe here, I've worn it a couple times. I'm not planning on wearing this anymore. Why do I have it? It hurts my feet. I had this obsession with completing all the unions. They are always going to continue releasing, it seems like it, more and more union colorways. Like this is the A La Manière Jordan 4. I thought once this came out that I would be like super satisfied being able to collect, you know, the 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, the 5s. It just keeps going, right? It's just like never going to stop. The new 3 came out. Like, do I need that? It's just, do I need this? Like, I've worn this once. It's a cool shoe, but like, I just got it in order to collect this, like all of them. It's an obsession. It's insane. You know, people have different motivations for things. For me, I wanted to collect them because I saw them as a kid and was like, I need to have all the OG 17s and the 18s and the 19s because like that was my era of like collecting shoes. I had this like obsession that I was trying to channel from when I was being a kid to now as a grown adult man in order to complete this collection that like my kid self always dreamed of. This is all subjective, and please keep in mind, this is my opinion. And I think that's a good thing, right? Like my collection should look very different than your collection. If they all look the same, is it like, do we all suddenly have the exact same tastes in the world? It's probably not. I think it's really strange when I go on a Reddit or Instagram and I see these collection photos and like, I'm a huge hypocrite, obviously, because a lot of my collection looks like this too, but like we all have the Travis Scott ones. We all have the unions. We all have the A La Manières. We all have like every single new collection and, you know, scarce, rare product. Like we have them all. Like, and it's so strange and weird that this is now what collecting has now become. I mean, to end things out, I think this hobby can get toxic if you let it get toxic. I've been in situations 10 years ago where I actually got rid of everything and I got it all back. And I've been through this a few times. I want to encourage people that are watching this, and maybe some of what I'm saying is resonating with you. I encourage you to look through your collection and give it that same thought and get rid of those pairs that you don't want. Like there is no pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. You know, if you look at shoes as an investment, right? Like there's so many better investments to put your money in these days. Like soles will crumble. There is no way to stop that. Glue will separate, things will deteriorate. Like these are, at the end of the day, it's just glue, plastic, cheap leather, and rubber. Like we really need to understand like what we're talking about here. Also, if you have those shoes and you want to keep them, but you haven't worn them yet, just wear them. I think that's also an amazing thing to say. You don't have to sell it. You can also just wear it. Even if it means going to the grocery store, like don't always hold things and save them for that special magic occasion that may never happen. That's the end of the video. Not sure how this is going to turn out, but if you did make it to the end, I encourage you to let me know in the comments. I want to kind of create some sort of discussion if people are interested, and I want to hear your thoughts. Am I right about this? Am I right about some things? Am I completely wrong? If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. Do really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.